Hey everybody, this is Dr. Connie. Today we're going to be talking about how to plan your life when it's impossible to know how you'll feel. I know this is a topic that we don't commonly bring up to discussion, but there are going to be times living with autoimmunity where you are just going to be feeling so bad physiologically from day to day that it's going to be or feel like it's impossible to plan. And really, this is where you need to admit that there are times in our lives when things feel like they've really hit rock bottom and that you just don't know how to proceed with life because everything you're used to feeling, doing, and being is completely turned upside down. You feel so terrible. Your physiology, your body, from aches and pains to fatigue or whatever it is that you're dealing with, might just consume you so much so that you can barely operate and you don't feel like yourself. So what do you do in this regard or when this happens in your life? So navigating life when things hit rock bottom can feel impossible and overwhelming, and it's important for us to recognize it and understand it and to really have patience around it for us to navigate our lives when things do feel terrible. Okay. And things can feel drastically different. And, we all know from being human beings, change is hard. We're used to doing things a certain way, and we just get in the habit of a certain way of doing things. And that's why when we have to change our behavior for the better, whatever goals we set, we try to change our behavior to meet those goals. And that change can feel very overwhelming in and of itself from a healthy state of being. But to be forced into something because of your sickness, that's going to feel very unfair. It's going to hit you from nowhere, and you're going to feel very unprepared. And so I just want to kind of bring up the awareness of it because sometimes we don't know how to be sick. We don't know how to be healthy. We don't know how to manage our lives and navigate our roles in our lives from a place of feeling terrible. And this is a topic that we need to kind of pull together and understand so that we can extend grace and understanding towards ourselves. We can't expect this to be understood by those around us, those people that we love and that are closest to us, because there's no way for them to truly understand what we may be going through. Okay. So I want you to understand that it's going to take time. And sometimes that time is going to take longer than we expect, especially if you're somebody like me who's very impatient and is used to working at a high level. I'm not used to being told to do something or being told not to do something. I'm used to doing things on my own terms. And when struck with a flare or a sickness that sort of, caps me at my knees, I just didn't know how to handle it. But having been through that kind of life-changing flare situation, I now understand that you need patience and time. And that patience was very hard to cultivate. And it's the hardest thing I've ever done, is to not know what tomorrow will bring, what I'll feel like, and what are you supposed to do when you don't feel good, that you can't plan your life anymore, especially when you have responsibilities to fulfill as a spouse or a parent or a boss or what have you, right? And so I really want you to understand and redefine what that time and patience can look like. And so I want to bring to your awareness so that you can really resonate with what I'm saying, to really understand sometimes you have to just let things be, okay? Because this is a time when you have to learn to let things go. All your expectations of doing things a certain way, it's going to have to kind of take a back seat. And you have to relearn all the things that you're used to doing and be okay with that, you know? And sometimes that period is going to get pretty messy before it makes sense to you. I'm used to having clarity around everything. And if it doesn't have clarity, and if I don't know where I'm going or how I'm supposed to feel, then I feel really out of control. And that was the most uncomfortable feeling ever. But I also had to learn that that was how it's going to be. And you have to be okay with things being really messy and chaotic. And there's nothing you can do to really plan ahead and fill out your agenda neatly and make sure that your life is going to look exactly the way you planned. Because guess what? You can't plan, not at this moment. And so you just have to let life reveal what's next and be okay with it. And you just have to show up with the best attitude regardless of. And so how are you supposed to do that when you feel so terrible? Well, you have to sit with what is and be okay with being sick. And you have to learn to be okay with it. And you have to build resilience and understanding around it, because you can fight it all you want and hate it, but that's going to spiral you down a path you don't want to go. You're going to get complacent. You're going to be angry. You're going to be resentful. You're going to be guilty. You're going to be shameful. And all those things are things that don't serve you right now. It's not the path to healness or healing, right? You have to feel what you feel. If you feel angry, you have to lean into it and feel anger and just be okay with it. If you feel sick, you have to lean into that sickness and be sick and be okay with it and be in bed. And you have to be okay with be feeling shameful in the guilt, and you have to lean into that and understand why. And so what is going to really, really help you is to reflect upon it, not resist it, and perhaps even write it down. Journal how terrible you feel at this very moment. And just let your hand do the writing, and try to dump all the thoughts on paper. And to me, that was the most productive thing ever. It allowed me to really understand where I was. And it's taking time to get to know you and what you've been harboring on deep within you. And this is a time for reflection. It's time to be okay with where you are, truly, and accept where you are. And that's going to cultivate this self acceptance and understanding and awareness at a whole different level. It's where I've never extended grace to myself. I was just busy doing until I got really sick and understood all the feelings that came up and the triggers that were there and what I regard and false sense of identity that I was holding on to. And it's kind of liberating to let things go, all the expectations. And to me, it just became a time of self reflection and really self awakening, inner awakening. And all the things had to explode in order for me to really see who I truly was from the inside. And it took all the BS out of me. And it took a long time. And I'm still in that mess right now, to be honest with you. But I feel really, really truthful and authentic. And I reveal exactly how I feel in the moment. And I'm not trying to hold on to things anymore. And I am cultivating this gratitude towards who I'm becoming. And I really, this is the best time right now for me to figure things out. And I'm okay with the messiness right now. And I'm okay with really feeling what I feel and really holding on to what makes me feel like myself without all the pretense, all the superficial being, having to like force myself to be. I'm okay with where things lie. I'm okay with the truth being told. So letting go and letting be, this is an opportunity for us to really rise. And so for those of you who are going through a hard time because of where you are, and you are just spinning your wheels and you can't really seem to figure out a way out of it, I want to just tell you it's okay. Just be where you are. and really lean into the moment and be okay with feeling terrible and feel bad, because you know what? When you hit rock bottom, you know the only place you can go is up from here. And so understand that, as I said last week, you have to be okay with not being okay, right? And every season in life, every year we have seasons, right? We have turning over. And so it's okay to just be in the fold and let nature take its place, because I realized that too much of my life has been all about my self-control, and I wanted to control every bit of it. And when I try to do that, it's like I remain so small. I lose perspective, and I don't gain what I'm here to gain, to really understand the fullness of life and what I'm supposed to experience. If I didn't experience what I'm experiencing, how can I share this experience with you, right? I can't, not at the superficial level, you know? And so we really understand that sometimes things happen to us for self-reflection, awareness, and for ultimate growth. It's an opportunity for us to elevate our consciousness to a whole new level and have an understanding. How do we do that? Well, choose gratitude. We always have a choice to feel bad or feel good. But sometimes we have to feel bad enough to want to feel good. And so let things be where they are, and then allow yourself to kind of feel or want to feel good. And if it takes forever, take the time and have the patience and extend grace to yourselves, and understand that at the end of the day, we have yoga, the movement through breath. It's a practice that can be cultivated, and I've been wanting to move in my body. And I'm so grateful that I can move and I have the willingness to do that. And I extend that time for myself, at least an hour every day. And it's been amazing because I can really focus on me for that hour and really tune into me and really feel the breath with every movement and get curious about the joints of my body. And I have been able to have a sense of empowerment to really heal around the areas of my body where I've been aching, and just really been able to really tune into that moment. And also, I've been able to silence my mind and really seek greater understanding through my meditation sessions, both in the morning as well as at night. And I'm very much not in the overthinking mode so much as it is just feel what I feel in the moment and being fully present with myself. And I noticed that I've been allowing myself to really do and be in the moment, doing what matters to me, spending time with my kids. And when I'm spending time with them, really getting curious with where they are, not trying to control their every feeling or doing, but just getting curious at what amazing human beings they're becoming. And just spending time with them and having dialogue and being in the moment, that's been making me super happy. And we're connecting in ways we never have before. It just hits home so well. Like in my heart, I can feel the connection with my sons in ways I've never been able to before. And so I'm just so grateful for that. And it allows me to reassess my life, to really bring about what's truly important and really voicing the truth and really what I feel and what I want from the inside, instead of pretending I like something and doing something for, just to do it because everybody else is doing it. I'm like, no, when it really means no. And really giving into the time and spending time with my loved ones and doing things that I love, like picking up piano or doing yoga full-heartedly, and enjoy cooking because I love cooking, or cooking for my family. And those are kind of things that I've been sort of like reveling or really marveling at, and really being in that moment to really enjoy. And so I want to just extend this to you, to one, know that it's okay to feel shitty or crappy. Give yourself that time to allow yourself to feel that way, but also know that when you do, it really allows you to be truthful for yourself, because now that you know what crappy looks like, when you do feel good, you appreciate it so much more, and you want to just sort of extend this happiness when you do feel good to the ones that you love. And you're much more careful with your time, because this time when you feel good, you want to really make it worthwhile doing things that you love. And so I really want you to cultivate this understanding from the inner you, really find what really matters to you and hold on to those moments and fully be in the moment. And just when you do that, everything becomes so beautiful. Like even walking the dogs outside or being able to do yoga, and you realize, oh my God, it's a privilege. It's not a dreadful experience where you are making yourself to do. You have bigger perspective, and you have so much like a spring in your step when you do feel good. And nothing really matters, no matter what disease or condition you might have. You're able to elevate your consciousness in ways where you didn't have the access to that before. So I just want to let you know that it's a matter of perspective. And if we can manage our emotions and our minds and understand that we're multi-layer beings and there's so much complications there, but also extending this time to be okay and to really feel what you feel. And, when things suck, let it be suck, let it suck, so that you can really amplify those times that are good. So remember what I said, it takes time and patience and cultivating those two things to take an opportunity to become self-aware, take the time to self-reflect, and allow this time as a time for growth is what I want for you. So you can find me on Instagram, tell me and share your thoughts at Dr. Connie Cheung, and as well as subscribe to our channel, our Mind Your Health podcast. And again, my name is Dr. Connie, and I will see you guys all next week. Thanks for joining me. There's going to be multiple links, ways for you to work with me, find me. I have different programs where I guide autoimmune patients through. And so I hope you guys all have a delightful day. And remember, it takes time and patience. Cultivate them and be okay with where you are, because I promise you, you will be just fine. Okay.